Hi there, my name is Steve. Today I've got my Colt Umarex M4 and M16. I've got several thousand rounds through each rifle and they both perform pretty well, but after about 500 to 1,000 rounds they start getting pretty dirty inside. So today what I'm going to do is show you how to disassemble it completely beyond what the instruction manual shows. It's not too difficult, it's pretty simple if you just follow my instructions step by step. Nothing to really fear, only need a couple basic hand tools. And I'll take some pretty good high quality videos so you can see exactly what we're talking about as we go, and we'll go from there. In order to disassemble the rifle safely and without causing any damage to it, you need a few tools. First of all, you'll need a 13mm spanner wrench. That came with the rifle. That's used to remove the flash hider up in the front of the barrel. Next, we need two hex key sockets. I'm using bit styles, but regular standard hex keys will work. We need a 2.5mm and a 4mm. Then of course I have the driver for those bits. And then lastly, depending on your particular rifle, how stiff the takedown pins are, you may or may not need a pin punch in order to remove those. I prefer to use just this very long 3mm hex key and then just using very light blows from the hammer to tap it out. I also have a cloth here. I use that to cover up the receiver just to make sure we don't accidentally have an accident and scratch up the rifle. So we're pretty much got everything we need and we're all set to take it apart. Of course, we're going to start before any disassembly to once again double and triple check to make sure the rifle's clear. Yep, clear barrel. So let's go ahead and flip the rifle over, then we'll get the disassembly going. To begin disassembly, what you want to do is take your spanner wrench. You'll see on the second groove back here, there's a little flat notched into it. Spanner will fit right in there. Go ahead and break free the flash hider. Once it's loose, you can go ahead and unscrew it. Take note, there is a little O-ring down there. It shouldn't pop off, but just in case it does or you find it afterwards, that's what it's for. So go ahead and take your flash hider, put it aside. Next, we want to go ahead and remove the handguards. That's done by simply pulling down on the delta rings, popping out the top and the bottom. That's it. Go ahead and set them aside. Next step is to remove the takedown pins. My front pin pretty much just pushes straight out, and I can push that down, flip it over, and I can remove that pin just by hand. Now in my particular rifle, the rear takedown pin is very difficult to push out by hand. I've never really had much luck being able to do it, so what I've come down to is just using a pin punch, or in this case I'm going to use a 4mm long hex key so I can drive that pin straight down using some light taps from the hammer. Once I've got it down all the way, I use my cloth to raise up the rifle. This way I can push it through the rest of the way. And it's out. Now that you have both takedown pins removed, it's just a simple matter of removing the upper and lower receivers by simply pulling them apart. However, before we do that, keep in mind this piece right here is just a fake piece. It's functional on the real rifle, but on the 22 version it's not. So just kind of keep an eye on it as you separate the upper and lower. I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece. It just simply slides in and out. And I'm going to go ahead and set it aside for now. Once you have the upper and the lower receiver separated, there's no need to disassemble the lower any further. The trigger housing group is completely assembled inside, and although it gets just lightly dirty, a Q-tip does just fine cleaning that off. So we can go ahead and set this aside for now. Okay, now on to the upper. If you take a closer look inside, you can see this whole silver section. That's the actual functioning part of the gun. All the matte black aluminum is just for cosmetic looks. So in order to remove this, what we need to do is lightly tap this whole entire silver section out straight back. I use the bottom part of a wood hammer to lightly strike against there. Once it's free, you'll see the whole entire assembly is slidden out, including the barrel up in the front. So now what I'll do is just very carefully continue sliding the whole assembly straight back. And right here we have the actual functioning mechanical part of the Colt Umarex tactical rifle. Now that we have the true actual receiver moved from the upper, you can take a look down inside. There's nothing in there, it's just a big empty cavity. You can go ahead and clean it out using a toothbrush and a few Q-tips. It doesn't get too dirty up in there, but just go ahead and clean it up, and once it's done you can set it aside.